Welcome to Historical Legacies. Here, we dive into history's most intriguing stories, unraveling mysteries and uncovering truths from the past. Subscribe to join our journey through time's greatest moments. Anne of Cleves is often remembered as Henry VIII's fourth wife, a queen whose marriage ended almost as quickly as it began. Yet, her story is far more complex, filled with intrigue, diplomacy, and survival. This documentary uncovers Anne's remarkable journey and her astute ability to navigate the perilous Tudor court. A royal birth. Anne of Cleves was born on September 22, 1515, in the prosperous town of Dusseldorf, situated in the Duchy of Cleves, a region of the Holy Roman Empire. Her father, John III, Duke of Cleves, was a respected and influential noble, known for his fair governance and strategic alliances. Her mother, Maria of Jülichburg, was an equally formidable figure, bringing claims to significant territories that bolstered the family's political standing. Together, Anne's parents cultivated an environment of stability and power, ensuring their children were well-positioned in European noble circles. Anne grew up as the second of four siblings in the Cleves-Jülich household. Her early life revolved around the castle of Berg and der Wupper, a residence that reflected the family's status while fostering a serene upbringing. Unlike the English court's rigorous academic and artistic education for noble women, the Duchy of Cleves emphasized practical skills such as household management and needlework. Anne was also deeply rooted in her faith, which aligned with the Lutheran principles her father championed. This spiritual grounding shaped her character, making her a model of piety and discipline, admired within her community. Despite her noble birth, Anne's life was not marked by extravagance. The duchy valued simplicity and decorum, which became apparent in Anne's personality and demeanor. She was known for her quiet confidence, modesty, and adherence to tradition, qualities that later became pivotal in her survival in the Tudor court. Her upbringing also included an introduction to the arts, though not to the extent seen in the Renaissance-influenced courts of England or France. This divergence later played a role in shaping perceptions of her by Henry VIII and his courtiers. The political landscape of Anne's youth was marked by religious upheaval and shifting alliances. John III's policies reflected a cautious embrace of Protestant reforms, creating opportunities for alliances with Protestant rulers across Europe. These dynamics made Anne and her siblings valuable assets in the marriage market. Her elder sister, Sibylle, married John Frederick, Elector of Saxony, aligning their family with the powerful Schmalkaldic League. Anne's turn to forge a significant alliance came soon after, as European powers sought strategic marriages to secure influence and bolster their standing. Anne's teenage years were spent preparing for her future role as a wife and consort. This preparation did not include the scholarly pursuits or musical training typical of other noblewomen of her era. Instead, she was groomed in the practicalities of managing estates and maintaining decorum, skills that would later prove invaluable. Though Anne's life seemed destined for a quiet existence within her family's territories, fate intervened when the volatile English king, Henry VIII, sought her hand in marriage. The negotiations for this marriage marked a turning point in Anne's life. Her family's growing prominence and Protestant connections caught the attention of Thomas Cromwell, Henry VIII's chief minister. For Anne, this arranged marriage was an opportunity to fulfill her familial duty, but it would thrust her into one of history's most tumultuous courts. Anne's journey from Dusseldorf to England was not merely a geographic transition, but a leap into an entirely different cultural and political world. As her story unfolds, we see how her early life prepared her to navigate the challenges that awaited her. A strategic match. By the late 1530s, England faced an uncertain future amid mounting tensions across Europe. Henry VIII, known for his volatile decisions and shifting allegiances, sought to strengthen his position against the Catholic powers led by Emperor Charles V and King Francis I of France. The Protestant Schmalkaldic League, a coalition of German states opposing the Catholic Holy Roman Empire, emerged as a potential ally. This led Thomas Cromwell, Henry's chief minister, to propose a marriage alliance with the Duchy of Cleves, whose Protestant connections could solidify England's standing. Anne of Cleves, as the unmarried daughter of John III, Duke of Cleves, became an ideal candidate for this alliance. Her family's principled embrace of Lutheran reforms aligned with Henry's recent break from the Roman Catholic Church, presenting a shared Protestant identity. Additionally, her brother William, the new Duke of Cleves, was a key figure within the Schmalkaldic League, making and a valuable political asset. For Cromwell, this match was a calculated move to secure England's religious and political independence in a fractured Europe. Negotiations for the marriage began in earnest in 1539, following a tense period in Henry's reign. The dissolution of his third marriage to Jane Seymour, after her untimely death, left him eager for both a male heir and a strong alliance. England's isolation from the Catholic world heightened the urgency to form bonds with Protestant states. John Hutton, the English envoy, and his counterparts in Cleves worked tirelessly to formalize the arrangement, carefully navigating the expectations of both parties. One of the critical moments in these negotiations involved the exchange of portraits. Henry, eager to ensure and met his aesthetic standards, commissioned the renowned artist Hans Holbein the Younger to paint her likeness. Holbein's skillful portrait presented and as composed and serene, dressed modestly in accordance with the traditions of her homeland. This image captivated Henry, reinforcing his resolve to pursue the alliance despite political risks. The cultural differences between Cleves and England added complexity to the marriage arrangements. Anne's upbringing in the structured, modest environment of the Duchy of Cleves stood in stark contrast to the lavish and politically charged court of Henry VIII. The Cleves court adhered to Lutheran ideals, emphasizing simplicity and practicality over the flamboyant scene in England. This divergence, while initially overlooked, would later become a significant point of tension between the couple. By October 1539, the marriage treaty was finalized. It stipulated not only Anne's union with Henry, but also various diplomatic agreements, including mutual defense pacts between England and Cleves. The terms reflected a cautious optimism, as both sides anticipated benefits from the union. For Cromwell, it was a triumph, signifying a step toward a Protestant coalition that could counterbalance Catholic dominance. Anne's departure from her homeland marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. She journeyed to England with great ceremony, accompanied by an entourage that reflected her noble status. The people of England, eager for a queen who could bring stability, welcomed her arrival with enthusiasm. However, beneath the surface, tensions simmered as Anne prepared to meet the formidable king whose court was a maze of intrigue and danger. This strategic match, designed to bolster England's position, would ultimately unravel in unexpected ways. While the marriage was born out of necessity, its outcome revealed the complexities of politics, personalities, and cultural expectations. Anne's story, from an intended queen to a survivor, underscores the precarious nature of alliances in Tudor times. The pivotal portrait. The creation of Anne of Cleves' portrait stands as one of the most significant moments in her path to becoming queen. Henry VIII, determined to avoid another misstep in marriage, relied on a painted representation to judge and suitability. Hans Holbein the Younger, the celebrated court painter, was entrusted with this critical task. Known for his skill in capturing not only physical likeness but also the character of his subjects, Holbein's artistry played a pivotal role in shaping the marriage negotiations. Holbein traveled to Cleves in the summer of 1539 to paint Anne's likeness. Working under immense pressure, he understood the stakes were high, as Henry's decisions often swayed dramatically based on personal whims. The result was a flattering and carefully composed portrait of Anne, presented in a dignified pose with modest yet regal attire. Her expression exuded serenity and grace, aligning with the expectations of Henry, who desired a queen of both beauty and virtue. This portrait was more than a visual representation. It was a diplomatic tool. Holbein's interpretation captured Anne's allure while conforming to Tudor ideals of femininity, emphasizing her purity and nobility. When the finished work was presented to Henry, he expressed satisfaction, further solidifying his interest in the alliance. For Henry, who prided himself on his refined taste, the portrait was proof of Anne's potential to fulfill the role of queen. However, the medium of portraiture carried inherent risks. Paintings, particularly in the 16th century, often idealized their subjects. In Anne's case, the portrait smoothed over cultural and physical differences that later became sources of dissatisfaction for Henry. Features that may have seemed unfamiliar or unremarkable in person were interpreted differently in an age before photography. The reliance on artistic interpretation, rather than first-hand interaction, laid the groundwork for future misunderstandings. Anne's reaction to the process also revealed the cultural disparities between Cleves and England. In Cleves, women were not typically subjected to public scrutiny of their appearance. The emphasis on modesty and inner virtues overshadowed concerns about physical beauty, and likely viewed the portrait as a formality, unaware of the weight it carried in determining her fate. This lack of awareness highlights the contrasting expectations placed upon her as she transitioned to the English court. For Henry, who valued charm and charisma as much as appearance, the portrait created expectations that reality could not match. When Anne arrived in England, his disappointment was immediate and profound, famously declaring, "She is nothing as she was spoken of." His reaction not only revealed his superficial nature, but also underscored the challenges and faced as a foreign bride entering a highly judgmental court. Despite Henry's dissatisfaction, the portrait remained a symbol of the alliance's political importance. It represented the hopes pinned on the union, not only for its participants, but also for the nations it aimed to unite. Holbein's work, though unintentionally misleading, remains a testament to the power of art in shaping history. The pivotal portrait marked the beginning of a fraught relationship between Anne and Henry. What began as an optimistic exchange of artistry and diplomacy soon unraveled into a marriage defined by disappointment and strategic maneuvering. The disastrous first meeting. Anne of Cleves arrived in England in late December 1539, prepared to meet her future husband, Henry VIII. Her journey was marked by pomp and ceremony, as she was greeted with fanfare and goodwill from the English people. Yet beneath the surface, this anticipated meeting carried the weight of political necessity and personal expectations. Henry, eager to assess Anne's charm in person, decided on a highly unorthodox plan for their introduction. On January 1, 1540, Henry arranged a surprise meeting with Anne at Rochester Castle. Disguised as a commoner, a romantic gesture often used in courtly love traditions, he intended to create a playful and intimate first encounter. However, Anne, unaccustomed to such customs and unaware of Henry's identity, did not respond with the enthusiasm he expected. When Henry approached her in his plain attire, she greeted him with polite indifference, failing to recognize the king. Henry's pride was deeply wounded by Anne's lack of reaction. Accustomed to adulation and flattery, he interpreted her response as a slight, even though it stemmed from cultural differences rather than personal rejection. His disappointment grew as he observed her demeanor and appearance, finding her less captivating than Holbein's portrait had suggested. Anne's limited fluency in English and her reserved nature further compounded the awkwardness of their interaction. This disastrous first meeting set the tone for the relationship between Anne and Henry. The king famously expressed his dissatisfaction by lamenting, "I like her not." For a man as notoriously impulsive as Henry, this initial impression was difficult to overcome. Despite his personal misgivings, the political implications of the marriage forced him to proceed with the union. His resentment toward Anne, however, would linger and influence his future decisions. For Anne, the experience highlighted the challenges of adapting to a foreign court and its unfamiliar customs. Her upbringing in Cleves had emphasized modesty and decorum, qualities that clashed with the extravagant and theatrical nature of Henry's court. The cultural differences between Anne and Henry became increasingly apparent, creating barriers to their relationship even before the marriage took place. The failed first meeting also revealed Henry's shifting priorities as a ruler and husband. Once driven by political necessity, his pursuit of and had now become entangled with his personal desires and insecurities. His disappointment with and reflected not only his dissatisfaction with her as a bride, but also his frustration with the constraints imposed by political alliances. Despite the king's negative impressions, preparations for the wedding continued. Henry's advisors, including Thomas Cromwell, urged him to prioritize the alliance with Cleves over his personal feelings. The marriage was too significant diplomatically to abandon, particularly with tensions rising between England and Catholic powers. Anne, meanwhile, remained committed to fulfilling her role, displaying grace and composure despite the challenges she faced. The disastrous first meeting marked a turning point in the narrative of Anne and Henry's union. It exposed the fragile foundation of their relationship, built on mismatched expectations and cultural misunderstandings. As the wedding approached, The stage was set for a union that would test Anne's resilience and redefine her place in Tudor history. A short-lived union. Anne of Cleves and Henry VIII were married on January 6, 1540, at the Palace of Placentia in Greenwich. The ceremony was conducted with all the grandeur expected of a royal wedding, with England's nobility in attendance to celebrate the union. However, the splendor of the event masked the growing dissatisfaction in Henry's heart. From the very beginning, the marriage was fraught with tension, as the king's discontent overshadowed the alliance's intended purpose. Henry's reluctance was evident in his behavior following the wedding. He confided to his courtiers that he found Anne physically unattractive and uninspiring, famously referring to her as a Flanders mare. This cruel and unfounded comparison reflected not Anne's qualities but rather Henry's own disillusionment and vanity. Despite these sentiments, Anne conducted herself with grace and dignity, embracing her new role as queen with unwavering commitment. In private, their marriage lacked the intimacy and affection necessary to forge a successful union. Henry, who was known for his passionate relationships with his previous wives, displayed little interest in Anne. His disappointment stemmed not only from personal preferences, but also from the stark cultural and linguistic differences that hindered their communication. And, unfamiliar with the intricacies of the English court and its expectations, struggled to bridge this gap, though she remained steadfast in her efforts to adapt. The political context further complicated the marriage. While the union was initially intended to strengthen England's ties with the Protestant Schmalkaldic League, the shifting alliances in Europe rendered this connection less critical. By the spring of 1540, relations between France and the Holy Roman Empire had improved, reducing the perceived threat to England. As the political necessity of the marriage waned, Henry's dissatisfaction grew more pronounced, leading him to seek an escape. And for her part, demonstrated remarkable resilience in the face of these challenges. Despite the king's coldness, she fulfilled her duties as queen with poise, attending court functions and earning the respect of many in Henry's circle. Her humility and kindness endeared her to the English people, who admired her stoicism amid the volatile dynamics of the Tudor court. By June 1540, Henry had resolved to end the marriage. He cited the lack of consummation as evidence of its invalidity, a claim that both protected Anne's reputation and allowed him to dissolve the union without scandal. Thomas Cromwell, who had championed the match, faced intense scrutiny as Henry's frustration turned into political retribution. The annulment process began swiftly, with Anne's cooperation ensuring a relatively amicable resolution. On July 9, 1540, the marriage was officially annulled. Anne's acquiescence to the king's wishes played a significant role in securing her survival and future stability. Unlike Henry's other queens, who often met tragic ends, Anne's tactful approach allowed her to transition from queen to the king's beloved sister with grace. The short-lived union between Anne and Henry marked a pivotal moment in both their lives. For Anne, it was a test of her adaptability and resilience. For Henry, it was a reminder of the complexities of balancing personal desires with political strategy. A queen's graceful exit, and of Cleves' transition from queen to the king's beloved sister, is one of the most remarkable chapters in Tudor history. After the annulment of her marriage to Henry VIII in July 1540, Anne faced an uncertain future. Unlike her predecessors who suffered tragic fates, Anne's story took an unexpected turn, defined by her pragmatism and tactful diplomacy. Her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of the English court ensured her survival and secured a position of respect and influence. The annulment proceedings had been swift and largely amicable. Henry, eager to avoid scandal, sought a resolution that would protect both his reputation and Anne's dignity, and, recognizing the volatile nature of the king's temper, chose to cooperate fully. She accepted the terms of the annulment without protest, citing Henry's claim that their marriage had not been consummated and acknowledging the king's assertion that she had been pre-contracted to another. In exchange for her compliance, Anne was granted generous settlements. She received several properties, including Hever Castle, the former home of Anne Boleyn's family, along with Richmond Palace and Bletchingley Manor. These estates provided her with financial independence and a comfortable lifestyle, a rare privilege for a woman who had fallen out of favor with the king. Anne's new status as the king's beloved sister allowed her to maintain a presence at court, though she no longer held the responsibilities of a queen. Anne's conduct during this period earned her widespread admiration. Her acceptance of the annulment, coupled with her gracious demeanor, endeared her to Henry and his court. Unlike Henry's other wives, who often found themselves isolated or vilified, and maintained a cordial relationship with the king, she attended court functions, participated in royal celebrations, and even developed a warm rapport with Henry's children. Her relationship with Princess Mary, in particular, blossomed into a genuine friendship, highlighting Anne's ability to forge connections despite her challenging circumstances. While Anne's life after the annulment was marked by stability, it was not without its challenges. The shifting political landscape of the Tudor court required her to remain vigilant. As new queens came and went, Anne's position was occasionally questioned, though her lack of ambition and political involvement shielded her from suspicion. Her steadfast loyalty to Henry and her avoidance of court intrigues ensured her continued safety and prosperity. For Henry, Anne represented a rare success in his tumultuous marital history. Their annulment, far from being a bitter conflict, became a testament to the possibility of reconciliation and mutual respect. Henry's esteem for Anne was evident in his continued generosity toward her, as well as his frequent references to her as a trusted confidant. Anne's graceful exit from queenship allowed her to carve out a unique role in Tudor history. While her tenure as queen had been brief, her legacy endured as a symbol of resilience and adaptability. Her story stands in stark contrast to the tragedies that befell many of Henry's other wives, showcasing the power of pragmatism and diplomacy in the face of adversity. A new role in the English court, and of Cleves' life after her annulment revealed her ability to adapt to changing circumstances and maintain her status in the English court. As the king's beloved sister, she held a unique position, neither a queen consort nor a disgraced exile. This role allowed her to remain connected to the royal family and participate in courtly life while avoiding the dangerous pitfalls that often accompanied power in Tudor England. Anne's presence at court was largely ceremonial, yet it carried significant political and social weight. By aligning herself closely with Henry and his family, Anne cemented her position as a valued member of the royal household. She attended court functions, including the lavish celebrations surrounding Henry's subsequent marriages, presenting herself as a loyal ally to the king. This display of loyalty, combined with her refusal to engage in court intrigues, solidified her reputation as a trustworthy and unthreatening figure. One of Anne's most notable contributions to the court was her role in fostering unity within the royal family. Her relationships with Henry's children, particularly Princess Mary and Princess Elizabeth, were marked by genuine warmth and affection. Anne's kindness and generosity toward the royal children endeared her to them, creating a bond that transcended political alliances. Mary, in particular, found in Anne a confidant and supporter, a testament to Anne's ability to build meaningful connections despite her foreign origins. Anne's status also allowed her to serve as a cultural bridge between England and her homeland. Though she had embraced her new identity as a member of the English court and maintained ties to Cleves and the Protestant Schmalkaldic League, her correspondence with her family in Germany provided valuable insights into European politics, which she occasionally shared with Henry and his advisors. This exchange of information underscored her value as a diplomatic asset, even after her marriage to the king had ended. While Anne's role in the court was largely peaceful, she was not immune to the shifting dynamics of Tudor politics. The arrival of new queens, particularly Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr, required Anne to navigate her position carefully. She maintained a respectful distance from Henry's new wives, ensuring that her presence did not spark jealousy or suspicion. This strategic approach allowed her to coexist with Henry's later queens without conflict, further enhancing her reputation for discretion and wisdom. Anne's new role extended beyond the court to her estates, where she managed her properties with diligence and care. Her financial independence allowed her to maintain a comfortable lifestyle and engage in acts of charity, earning her the respect of her tenants and neighbors. She became a patron of the arts and education, using her resources to support causes that reflected her values. This philanthropic work highlighted Anne's ability to find purpose and fulfillment outside the confines of traditional queenship. Despite the challenges she faced as a foreign-born woman in a volatile court, Anne emerged as a figure of resilience and adaptability. Her ability to navigate the complexities of Tudor politics, maintain positive relationships with the royal family, and carve out a meaningful role for herself ensured her place in history. Anne's story serves as a testament to the power of grace and diplomacy in overcoming adversity and creating a lasting legacy. Anne's relationship with Henry's children and of Cleves' unique position in the Tudor court afforded her the opportunity to forge close bonds with Henry VIII's children. These relationships became a defining aspect of her life after her annulment and demonstrated her ability to adapt to her new role. Despite the brevity of her marriage to Henry, Anne maintained a significant presence in the royal family, becoming a trusted and beloved figure to the king's offspring. Her interactions with Princess Mary, Princess Elizabeth, and Prince Edward underscored her diplomatic skill and genuine warmth. Among Henry's children, Anne's rapport with Princess Mary was particularly strong. Mary, the eldest daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, had endured years of personal and political turmoil due to her father's marital conflicts. Anne's kindness and supportive nature provided Mary with a sense of stability and companionship during a tumultuous period. The two women shared a mutual respect and affection, often spending time together at court events and private gatherings. Their bond was so genuine that Mary occasionally visited Anne's estates, where they enjoyed a more relaxed and informal setting. Anne's relationship with Princess Elizabeth, the future Elizabeth I, was also marked by affection and mutual admiration. Though Elizabeth was a young child during Anne's time as queen, their connection deepened in the years following the annulment. Anne's gentle demeanor and lack of political ambition made her a trusted presence in Elizabeth's life. She often sent thoughtful gifts to the princess, fostering a sense of care and attention that left a lasting impression. Elizabeth later spoke warmly of and a testament to the positive influence Anne had on her upbringing. Prince Edward, Henry's only legitimate son and heir, had limited interactions with, and due to his young age during her time at court. Nevertheless, Anne's efforts to maintain a cordial relationship with Edward reflected her commitment to strengthening ties within the royal family. As the future Edward VI, his acceptance of and as part of the extended royal household was an important affirmation of her place in Tudor England. Anne's ability to connect with Henry's children was not solely rooted in personal affection, but also in her understanding of their unique challenges. She sympathized with Mary's struggles as a daughter displaced by her father's marital ambitions and Elizabeth's precarious position as the child of the executed and Boleyn. These shared experiences of navigating the complexities of royal life allowed Anne to offer empathy and guidance, further cementing her bonds with the children. In addition to her personal relationships, Anne's presence in the children's lives served a broader political purpose. By maintaining positive connections with the future rulers of England, Anne reinforced her status as a loyal and valuable member of the Tudor court. This loyalty ensured her continued protection and respect within a volatile political environment. And of Cleves' relationship with Henry's children remains one of the most poignant aspects of her legacy. Through her warmth, understanding, and genuine care, she provided a sense of stability and connection that endured long after her brief tenure as queen. Her ability to foster these meaningful relationships highlighted her resilience and adaptability, securing her place in Tudor history. Anne's life under Henry's successors, and of Cleves' life after Henry VIII's death in 1547, highlighted her ability to adapt to new political landscapes. As the Tudor court transitioned through the reigns of Henry's three children, Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I, and carefully navigated the complexities of each regime. Her continued survival and influence in this volatile period underscored her resilience and diplomatic acumen. Under Edward VI, Anne's position shifted subtly. The young king, influenced heavily by his Protestant regents, maintained a respectful but distant relationship with his father's former wife. Anne's alignment with Protestantism helped her retain favor during Edward's reign, though her public role diminished compared to her time under Henry VIII. She continued to manage her estates and live a life of relative independence, occasionally attending court ceremonies to reaffirm her loyalty. Her decision to remain politically neutral ensured her safety, even as England underwent significant religious and political upheavals. When Mary I ascended the throne in 1553, Anne's relationship with the new queen proved crucial to her survival. Mary, who had long admired Anne's kindness and support during her difficult youth, treated her with warmth and respect. Despite Mary's Catholic faith, which contrasted with Anne's Protestant background, the Queen's personal affection for and shielded her from potential scrutiny. and was invited to court for important events, including Mary's coronation and marriage to Philip of Spain. Her presence at these occasions reflected the enduring bond between the two women and Anne's ability to navigate shifting religious climates. During Mary's reign, Anne faced some challenges related to her religious beliefs. As England returned to Catholicism, Anne had to carefully balance her Protestant inclinations with the expectations of a devoutly Catholic monarch. Her diplomatic tact allowed her to avoid controversy, focusing instead on her personal relationships and charitable activities. This approach ensured her continued stability and protection, even as many Protestants faced persecution under Mary's rule. The final chapter of Anne's life unfolded during Elizabeth I's reign, beginning in 1558. Anne's earlier friendship with Elizabeth provided her with a sense of security during the Protestant queen's rule. Though Anne's role at court was minimal by this time, Elizabeth's respect for her father's former wife ensured Anne's dignity and comfort in her later years. Anne's enduring presence in the Tudor narrative symbolized the rare ability to survive and thrive amid dramatic political and dynastic shifts. Throughout these transitions, Anne maintained her financial independence and social standing. Her estates continued to provide her with a comfortable lifestyle, and she remained a respected figure within the nobility. Anne's choice to focus on personal contentment rather than political ambition proved instrumental in her survival during these turbulent decades. And of Cleves' life under Henry's successors reflects a story of adaptability and grace. She managed to maintain her status and integrity through some of the most challenging periods of Tudor history. Her legacy is a testament to the power of diplomacy, resilience, and personal strength in the face of constant change. Anne's estates and financial independence. And of Cleves' life after her annulment from Henry VIII was distinguished by her financial independence and the management of her estates. These properties, granted as part of the annulment settlement, provided Anne with a steady income and allowed her to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Unlike many women of her era, Anne enjoyed a degree of autonomy that enabled her to shape her own life. This financial stability was crucial to her enduring legacy as a respected figure in Tudor England. Among the properties Anne received, Hever Castle held particular significance. Previously the family home of Anne Boleyn, Henry's second wife, Hever symbolized the intertwined fates of the women in Henry's life. For Anne of Cleves, the castle became a sanctuary, offering privacy and a retreat from the political intrigues of the Tudor court. She invested in the upkeep and improvement of the estate, ensuring it remained a symbol of her status and independence. And also owned Richmond Palace and Bletchingley Manor, both of which contributed to her substantial wealth. Richmond Palace, a royal residence on the banks of the Thames, was one of the most prestigious properties in England. While Anne did not reside there permanently, her control of the estate underscored her unique position within the royal household. Bletchingley Manor, located in Surrey, provided Anne with additional income and a rural retreat, further diversifying her holdings. Managing these estates required Anne to adopt a hands-on approach. She oversaw the collection of rents, the maintenance of the properties, and the welfare of her tenants. This active involvement not only ensured the profitability of her lands, but also enhanced her reputation as a fair and responsible landowner. Anne's tenants, many of whom benefited from her charitable initiatives, regarded her with respect and gratitude. Her ability to balance financial acumen with compassion reflected her pragmatic and empathetic nature. Anne's wealth allowed her to engage in acts of philanthropy that further cemented her legacy. She supported local communities by funding schools, churches, and hospitals, reflecting her commitment to education and public welfare. These charitable endeavors showcased Anne's ability to use her resources for the betterment of others, earning her admiration across social strata. Her actions demonstrated a nuanced understanding of her role as a landowner and former queen, blending duty with genuine care. Financial independence also afforded Anne a measure of freedom uncommon for women of her time. Unlike Henry's other wives, whose fates were often dictated by their relationships with the king, Anne was able to chart her own course. Her wealth shielded her from the financial and social vulnerabilities that plagued many widows and unmarried women in Tudor society. This autonomy allowed her to live a life of dignity and purpose, unencumbered by the constraints of a traditional royal consort. Anne's estates became a central aspect of her identity, symbolizing her resilience and adaptability. Through careful management and strategic investments, She transformed her annulment settlement into a foundation for a prosperous and fulfilling life. Her ability to thrive outside the confines of queenship highlighted her strength and resourcefulness, setting her apart in a court often defined by power struggles and intrigue. And of Cleves' financial independence stands as a testament to her intelligence and pragmatism. Her estates not only sustained her materially, but also provided a platform for her lasting influence and legacy. In an era where women's agency was often limited, Anne's story remains a powerful example of empowerment and resilience. Anne's final years. And of Cleves' final years were marked by quiet dignity and a focus on personal contentment. Having successfully navigated the turbulence of the Tudor court, she spent her later years enjoying the comforts of her estates and reflecting on her unique journey. Her life, once defined by political and marital drama, had transformed into one of peace and stability. This period stands as a testament to her resilience and adaptability. Anne's health began to decline in the late 1550s, but she remained active in managing her affairs and maintaining her household. Her estates provided her with financial security and a retreat from the pressures of court life. At Hever Castle and her other properties, Anne found solace in the tranquility of the countryside, surrounded by loyal attendants and staff who admired her strength and kindness. Despite her reduced presence at court, she continued to receive visits from members of the royal family and the nobility, ensuring her enduring connection to the Tudor dynasty. The death of Mary I in 1558 and the accession of Elizabeth I marked another shift in the Tudor court. Although Anne's role was largely ceremonial by this time, her relationship with Elizabeth ensured her continued respect and acknowledgement. Elizabeth's admiration for and reflected the latter's ability to maintain grace and loyalty across successive reigns. Anne's presence at Elizabeth's court functions, though rare, was a reminder of her enduring place within the fabric of Tudor history. Anne's final years were also characterized by her commitment to charitable work. She continued to support local communities through donations to churches, schools, and the needy, reflecting her deep sense of social responsibility. Her philanthropy was particularly meaningful to the tenants of her estates, who benefited from her generosity and fair governance. These acts of kindness further solidified her legacy as a compassionate and just figure in a time of great inequality. As Anne's health worsened, she began to prepare for her passing with the same pragmatism that had defined her life. She ensured that her financial affairs were in order, leaving clear instructions for the distribution of her wealth and the care of her household. This foresight reflected her deep sense of responsibility and desire to leave a lasting positive impact. Her will, meticulously crafted, demonstrated her care for those who had supported her throughout her life. Anne of Cleves passed away on July 16, 1557, at the age of 41. Her death marked the end of a remarkable life that had defied the expectations of a discarded queen. She was buried with honors at Westminster Abbey, an acknowledgement of her unique place in Tudor history. Her tomb bears a simple inscription, a quiet reflection of her understated yet profound legacy. Anne's final years reveal a woman who, despite the challenges she faced, chose to embrace a life of purpose and peace. Her ability to adapt, thrive, and give back to her community underscores her strength of character and enduring influence. Anne of Cleves remains a symbol of resilience, dignity, and humanity, qualities that continue to inspire admiration centuries later. Anne's legacy in history. Anne of Cleves' legacy is an enduring testament to her resilience, pragmatism, and grace under pressure. Unlike many of Henry VIII's wives, whose lives were marred by scandal, execution, or tragedy, Anne's story is one of survival and adaptability. Her ability to navigate the tumultuous politics of the Tudor court has left her with a unique place in history. She is remembered not only as the king's beloved sister, but also as a woman who outmaneuvered Henry VIII and forged her own path. Anne's annulment from Henry VIII, while initially a source of public humiliation, ultimately became the foundation of her lasting reputation. By accepting the annulment with dignity and grace, she preserved her status and secured her financial independence. Her willingness to prioritize personal safety and stability over pride reflected her remarkable foresight and pragmatism. This decision allowed her to live a life of relative peace and prosperity, a rare outcome for a woman who had been married to one of history's most volatile monarchs. Historians often highlight Anne's unique position within the Tudor court after her annulment. She became a trusted figure, respected by Henry and his children, and maintained her place in the royal family despite no longer being queen. This unusual dynamic has fascinated scholars, who view her as a case study in survival and reinvention during one of England's most dangerous eras. Her role as a confidant and ally to figures like Princess Mary further solidified her legacy as a figure of kindness and loyalty. Anne's legacy also extends to her contributions to the cultural and social fabric of Tudor England. As a patron of the arts and a charitable landowner, she left a positive mark on the communities surrounding her estates. Her efforts to improve the lives of her tenants and support local institutions reflect her enduring commitment to the welfare of others. These contributions have earned her admiration not only as a historical figure, but also as an example of effective and compassionate leadership. Public perception of and has evolved over time, shaped by the changing narratives of Tudor history. Early accounts often portrayed her as a political pawn or an unwitting victim of Henry's whims. However, modern historians have increasingly recognized her agency and intelligence, reframing her story as one of empowerment and resilience. This shift in perspective has elevated Anne's status in historical discourse, transforming her from a footnote in Henry VIII's marital saga into a celebrated figure in her own right. Anne's portrayal in popular culture has further cemented her legacy. From novels and plays to television series, her life has been revisited and reimagined in ways that highlight her strength and humanity. These depictions often emphasize her ability to navigate a precarious situation with grace and emerge victorious, a narrative that resonates with contemporary audiences. While creative liberties are sometimes taken, these portrayals have introduced and to new generations, ensuring her story remains relevant. And of Cleves' legacy is a testament to the power of adaptability and perseverance. Her ability to transform a potentially ruinous situation into a life of purpose and stability continues to inspire admiration. She stands as a reminder that strength can be found in quiet determination, and that survival itself can be a triumph. Anne's life, though often overshadowed by the dramatic fates of Henry's other wives, remains a powerful example of resilience in the face of adversity. And in modern cultural depictions, Anne of Cleves has become an enduring figure in modern cultural depictions, often portrayed as one of Henry VIII's most fortunate wives. Her story, marked by resilience and a peaceful post-queenly life, provides a sharp contrast to the dramatic and often tragic tales of Henry's other marriages. This unique position has made Anne an intriguing subject for writers, filmmakers, and playwrights seeking to explore the complexities of Tudor history. Her portrayal varies widely, reflecting different interpretations of her personality and circumstances. One of the most prominent themes in modern depictions of Anne is her intelligence and pragmatism. Many adaptations highlight her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Henry's court with grace and skill. Unlike depictions of other queens who suffered greatly under Henry's rule, Anne is often shown as a woman who outwitted the king. Her decision to accept the annulment and secure her future is frequently portrayed as a masterstroke of self-preservation. These portrayals underscore her agency and wisdom in an era that often denied women both. Anne's relationship with Henry VIII is also a focal point in many narratives. Writers and filmmakers often delve into the nuances of their brief and politically charged marriage. The infamous moment when Henry found Anne's appearance unappealing has become a central motif, sometimes exaggerated for dramatic or comedic effect. However, more nuanced portrayals seek to balance this narrative by emphasizing Anne's qualities beyond physical appearance, such as her kindness, loyalty, and diplomatic acumen. These interpretations aim to provide a fuller picture of her character and contributions. In popular media, Anne has been featured in numerous television series, films, and novels. Productions such as The Tudors have brought her story to a global audience, though they often take creative liberties with historical details. In these dramatizations, Anne is frequently portrayed as an innocent yet savvy figure who manages to escape the dangers of Henry's court relatively unscathed. Her portrayal as a survivor resonates with modern audiences, who often view her story through the lens of empowerment and resilience. Historical novels have also played a significant role in shaping Anne's modern image. Authors such as Philippa Gregory have explored her life in works like The Boleyn Inheritance, where Anne is depicted as a perceptive and pragmatic woman caught in the web of Tudor politics. These fictional accounts often blend historical fact with imaginative storytelling, allowing readers to connect with and on a more personal level. While not always entirely accurate, such portrayals have contributed to a broader understanding of her life and legacy. Anne's cultural legacy extends beyond traditional media to theater and even music. In the hit musical Six, Anne of Cleves is reimagined as a witty and confident character who humorously embraces her annulment as a victory. This playful and empowering depiction has introduced her story to a younger audience, highlighting her adaptability and resilience in a modern context. The musical's interpretation of Anne as a woman who turned misfortune into triumph aligns with contemporary values of independence and self-determination. Modern depictions of Anne also reflect changing attitudes toward women in history. Earlier narratives often dismissed her as the unattractive wife who failed to please Henry, reducing her to a caricature. However, recent portrayals have sought to reclaim her story, emphasizing her intelligence, kindness, and political acumen. This shift mirrors a broader trend in historical storytelling, where women's voices and experiences are given greater prominence and complexity. Anne of Cleves' presence in modern culture underscores her enduring relevance as a historical figure. Her story of survival, adaptation, and quiet triumph continues to captivate audiences, offering valuable lessons about resilience and agency. Through books, films, and stage performances, Anne remains a symbol of strength and grace, ensuring her legacy endures for generations to come. Anne's role in shaping Tudor history. Anne of Cleves' role in shaping Tudor history is often understated, yet her actions and survival had a significant impact on the political and social landscape of her time. While not as central as other figures in the Tudor court, Anne's marriage to Henry VIII and her subsequent annulment set in motion events that reverberated throughout the monarchy and the broader European political sphere. Her ability to navigate the volatile court of Henry VIII while preserving her dignity and wealth is a testament to her resilience and foresight. Anne's annulment from Henry VIII is often seen as a turning point in the king's marital history. While her marriage was brief and ended in annulment, it marked a critical shift in Henry's approach to royal marriages. The king's ability to extricate himself from an unpopular union without resorting to execution or scandal demonstrated a new level of flexibility in his marriage strategy. In this sense, Anne played a quiet but significant role in redefining the future of the monarchy's marriages. In the aftermath of the annulment, Anne maintained a unique relationship with Henry VIII. She was granted the title of sister, a rare and respectful acknowledgement that allowed her to retain her status and influence at court despite no longer being the queen. This connection to the king helped solidify her place within the royal family, ensuring her continued involvement in court affairs. She was even invited to the coronation of Henry's next wife, Catherine Howard, demonstrating her importance within the Tudor court despite her removal from the throne. Anne's influence extended beyond her personal relationship with Henry VIII, as her marriage and subsequent annulment had broader implications for the royal succession and political alliances. The king's divorce from Catherine of Aragon and the subsequent marriages to Anne and others had profound effects on the religious and political landscape of England. The shifts in marriage and succession policies helped catalyze the English Reformation, as Henry's break from Rome and the establishment of the Church of England were directly tied to his desire for a male heir and his dissatisfaction with his marriages. Furthermore, Anne's later life and relationship with the Tudor children, particularly with Princess Mary, highlighted her importance in maintaining stability in the monarchy during a time of great upheaval. Anne served as a mentor and confidant to Mary, offering the young princess support and guidance at a time when her position at court was tenuous due to her mother's disfavor with Henry VIII. Anne's influence over Mary further cemented her status as a trusted member of the royal family. In addition to her personal connections, Anne's legacy can also be seen in her philanthropic efforts. She used her wealth and influence to support various charitable causes, making a significant impact on the communities surrounding her estates. Her generosity ensured that she was not only remembered as a former queen, but also as a benefactor who contributed to the social fabric of England. Anne's focus on improving the lives of her tenants and her support for local institutions left a lasting legacy that extended far beyond the royal court. Anne's role in shaping Tudor history also extended to the cultural narrative surrounding the monarchy. Her story, while less dramatic than those of Henry's other wives, was one of quiet power and perseverance, offering a contrast to the often tumultuous reigns of her counterparts. Her legacy has been re-examined in recent years, with historians and popular culture alike beginning to recognize the importance of her actions and decisions in the larger context of Tudor England. Ultimately, Anne's role in shaping Tudor history is defined not by her brief time as queen but by the way she managed to thrive after her annulment. Her ability to maintain a positive relationship with the king, support his children, and contribute to the social fabric of her time underscores her significance in the broader history of England. Anne's legacy is a testament to the power of adaptability and resilience in the face of personal and political adversity. Conclusion: Anne's enduring impact. Anne of Cleves' impact on history is far more significant than often acknowledged, as her story offers a remarkable example of survival and adaptability in the volatile Tudor court. Her life was defined by extraordinary challenges, yet she emerged from these trials with her dignity intact and her future secured. Anne's ability to navigate the treacherous waters of royal politics, maintain peace with her former husband, and carve out a place for herself in the English court is a testament to her resilience. Her legacy, now re-examined by historians and popular culture, continues to inspire admiration for her strength, intelligence, and pragmatism. The significance of Anne's brief marriage to Henry VIII cannot be overstated. While her union with the king was short-lived, it played a pivotal role in the shifting dynamics of Tudor marriages and succession policies. The annulment, far from being a disgrace, opened new possibilities for Anne and influenced how future royal marriages would be approached. This shift in Henry's attitude towards divorce and annulments set a precedent that would shape the future of England's monarchy, both politically and religiously. Anne's story thus contributed to the broader narrative of the English Reformation, a defining event in British history. Her decision to gracefully accept the annulment and embrace her status as the king's sister enabled her to navigate life post-marriage with unprecedented stability and autonomy. Anne's ability to maintain a respectful relationship with Henry, despite their failed marriage, was exceptional and ensured her ongoing relevance in the Tudor court. This rare example of a queen who remained respected and influential after her divorce from the king stands in stark contrast to the fates of Henry's other wives. Beyond her relationships at court, Anne's role as a benefactor and her philanthropic contributions demonstrate her lasting influence in the lives of ordinary people. She utilized her wealth and position to support various charitable causes, making a tangible impact on the communities surrounding her estates. Anne's charitable efforts have been somewhat overshadowed by her connection to Henry VIII, but they highlight another aspect of her legacy: her commitment to improving the lives of others. Her legacy as a philanthropist enriches her historical persona, showcasing a side of her that was both compassionate and forward-thinking. The evolving portrayal of Anne in modern culture also speaks to her enduring relevance. From television shows and films to novels and musicals, Anne has been reimagined as a savvy, strong woman who turned what could have been a humiliating failure into a life of success and influence. Her story resonates with contemporary audiences because it speaks to the values of resilience, independence, and self-determination. Anne's presence in the popular imagination has ensured that her legacy lives on, allowing her to be celebrated as a woman who defied the odds and triumphed over adversity. As we look back on Anne of Cleves' life, it is clear that she left a mark not just as a former queen, but as a woman who shaped the course of Tudor history in subtle but important ways. Her ability to survive and thrive in a court rife with intrigue and danger, her unique relationship with Henry, and her lasting impact on English society have secured her place in the annals of history. Anne's legacy is one of quiet strength, resilience, and an enduring ability to adapt and thrive, qualities that make her a figure worth remembering and celebrating. With her contributions to Tudor society, her unique position within the royal family, and her lasting presence in modern culture, Anne of Cleves' enduring impact is a testament to the power of survival, self-reinvention, and grace in the face of adversity. Thanks for tuning in to Historical Legacies. If you enjoyed this dive into history, please like, subscribe, and share. Join us next time for more fascinating stories from the past.